writing the blog post, the presentation for the customer meeting. What was that article? Remember the car insurance, remember the school run. Stop!
You might think, after 20 years in the industry, I have everything figured out. I know exactly what to do and when to do it. I have time for my hobbies, for my family, for my friends. I've learned how to absorb new information and knowledge quickly, how to communicate, and how to share with you. Last year, I realized that wasn't the case. I felt something was missing. I was getting closer, but never reached what I was looking for. My brain is always full of ideas, technical details, tasks, and I try to offload all of them in different ways. Sometimes it was on paper, sometimes it was on different documents, but the reality is I didn't have a place where I can reach all this knowledge, all the information that I had in my head quickly. As I do every end of the year, I unplug myself for a few weeks from my daily life. That's when I discovered the power of the second brain. It's been 7 months using this technique, and I never felt so creative, in control of my time, capable to overcome any obstacle, self-aware of my capabilities and the value I bring on the table. Today, I want to unlock this door for you too. Imagine a tool that acts as your personal assistant, fully tailored on all your aspects of your life, capturing thoughts, tasks, and ideas in a structured and accessible format. This is not about storing information. It's about re-elaborating them in order that they work for you and not the other way around. In this video, I decided not only to show you my second brain, but also to let you experience how I use it daily. So, without further ado, let's go. As the day begins, I wake up eager to face the day. I reach for my phone, but not for social medias. It's my second brain, a tool that organizes my life and guides my thoughts. Second brain is not a high-tech device, but a methodology that aids in navigating the sea of information we encounter every single day. I move quickly to the kitchen, brewing up a cup of coffee. I cannot start the day without a double espresso. My focus remains in the tasks ahead. Not overthinking, but get ready for what to expect for the day. Meetings, chat with colleagues, specific tasks. I tend to jot down everything and block time for it to make sure I'm going to do it. Days I go to the office, I usually take a train and read yet another book. When the book is digital, I tend to use the Kindle app. And when a book is finished, I reverse all these notes and this knowledge that I gain into my second brain. A tool that I highly recommend is Web Highlight. It's a tool that is quite cheap and you can have inside Chrome as an extension, and you can transform your highlights from Kindle web app into Markdown and then paste inside your favorite tool, that in my case is Notion. When I read a paper book instead, every time that I found something interesting, I just take out my phone and immediately write it down in my second brain. In that case, I need to re-elaborate what I'm reading. That is extremely powerful because it helps me to connect in my brain new things. I don't have to remember all the learnings that I'm going through the book. But what I need to do is just enable my brain to do what it can do best, connecting topics with each other, my previous experience alongside the new knowledge that I'm trying to absorb. I also have an area dedicated to books that are recommended by my colleagues, or maybe I found on social, or maybe someone suggesting in another book. So I write them down into this table with the title, the link, and some notes in order to remember why I selected that book. That prevents me to buy immediately the book that I'm quite used to, unfortunately, and then take longer to read it. Instead, I just create this list, and slowly but steadily, when I want a new book or something, some new ideas, I just check there if there is a specific topic that might spark new interest or new knowledge for me. The days I'm working from home instead, I'm just sitting here, starting my morning routines. Have you ever heard of the Someday Soon task list? It's a very cool new way to manage your tasks that for me was a game changer. Forget about the usual to-do list where you just jot down tasks as they come to mind. The Someday Soon list groups tasks by topic. It's like having your tasks sorted into neat little boxes, making it way easier for you to wrap your head around what needs to be done. And you know what's the best part? There are no deadlines. Traditional to-do lists can make you feel like you are always racing against the clock. The Someday Soon list doesn't do that. It lets you tackle tasks at your own pace. So you can work when you are feeling most productive and take a breather when you need it. The other cool thing of the Someday Soon list is that it's very versatile. It can be used for small tasks, it can be used for bigger tasks. For instance, you have a project, and as you can see here, I have multiple of them that I'm using for just adding all the small ideas that are coming to my head during my day. And maybe it's happening in the evening, or maybe it's happening when I'm traveling, or maybe it's happening when I'm doing another activities. But I can jot that down directly into my second brain, so I don't forget anything, because the problem is that I try to remember, then I will forget for sure. The daily journal is the first thing that I do when I start my day. Usually, before starting any activities, I open Notion and I start to write my daily journal. I try to focus on what is the most important task, or a couple of them, not more than that I should accomplish today. For me, it's key that I create, let's say, small tasks that are achievable, nothing too crazy. It could be a portion of the project, or it could be a meeting that I really want to perform better. But the important things here is that you don't overthink. Just pick one, maximum two things that you are capable to accomplish, because this mindset will help you out to accomplish more. The day after, you will see the accomplishment of the day before, and slowly but steadily you enter in this mindset where breaking tasks down will enable you to have a winning mindset for succeeding in every task. I've also all the filler tasks available in this template. So I can pick one if during the day I have, for instance, 30 minutes to do something, or if I need to add a new one very quickly. Because this template, it will be available and open through the day inside my second brain. Usually writing a today's note doesn't take too much to me.
because I need to just spending at the beginning of the day a few minutes in order to understand what I need to achieve, and then during the day I might go back and write more, but at the beginning is a good starting point. But the next step is even more interesting. The concept of morning pages from Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way, is a technique that intends to clear your mind and unleash your creativity. She suggests to write down 3 pages of longhand stream of consciousness without worrying about grammar, punctuation, or what exactly you are writing. The act of writing morning pages serves to clear the mind of clutter and distractions. It's a form of meditation that not only clarifies your thinking and reduces anxiety, but also provides a sense of calm and focus. I found the morning pages a real game changer. I try to do as often as I can. Sometimes I don't know what to talk about. Sometimes I'm in a rush because I might have to travel in another country or in another city, and therefore sometimes I cannot do that. But when I do that, trust me, that for me is a pure moment of joy. I usually don't write 3 pages every day. I usually write wherever it comes, because the important thing is enabling your creative brain to surface and remove the constant rationalization of our actions or what we say or what we do. The fact that you are capable to enable yourself with all your ideas, your emotions, and even with simple things that are happening to you and your family and maybe your work environments and so on, is really something fantastic. There are a few simple rules that you need to think about when you are writing morning pages. Let me show them with you. Stop filtering your thoughts and ideas and unleash your creative thinking. Remember, the morning pages shouldn't generate any value. They will eventually, but don't obsess on finding value immediately. You must create a habit in writing morning pages, so stick writing for at least the first 90 days. Don't read your morning pages for at least 8 weeks. After that time, you have enough distance from the content to read it more objectively. You really need to try them, because for me it was really the real change that I have done this year. Thanks to them, my head exploded of new ideas, new connection, because I don't have to remember. Now I have my second brain that is always available. I can search into it. I can do a lot of things that before I couldn't do that when it was squeeze everything in my head. And that's not fair, because I see how much we can do if we use our brain properly, if we stop to remember every time we start to connect. Stop to remember, start to connect. That's the mindset that you should have. During the day, I have another section. I have flying notes that I usually use for jotting down some ideas or quick things that I need to remember. Maybe I need to schedule a follow-up meeting with the customer, or I need to discuss further with someone. So I jot them down either in a to-do list or just a bullet points, just a quick thing, because I didn't need anything too complicated for accomplish that. Free up your mind instead is a section that I use for mental health. So basically, thanks to that, if I have I'm feeling during the day a bit down or super excited of a specific thing, I just write it down, because writing it down helps me to understand and remove the stress that I might have during the day. And this seems very simple task, but trust me, the fact that I need to write, it helps me to rationalize what I want to express, and sometimes even to understand that I was pissed off with something that was extremely small and it doesn't really affect me. Just finish a meeting with a customer and an idea strikes. That's where I use my exploration board. Let's assume I have a new idea for a project. I have to write it down with as many details possible, but not all of them. There will be time for iterating on them. From that point on, I have a section for that project where I start to describe what I want to achieve. For instance, let me walk you through this idea that I had about a productivity book. Because I have already written a few books in my career, but while I was talking about productivity tips, I realized that I really like that topics. It's a subject that it's very close to me. I don't know when I'm going to start it, and I don't know how it will be published. I don't know anything about that, but I think I have some interesting things to write down. First thing that I did is starting from the tenets. What are the things that I would like to see in a book of productivity? So I want that is pragmatic, I want that is transparent, I want that is visual. And then I started to move ahead into the book structure, how I should imagine this book. Recently, I finished the book The Diary of a CEO. And trust me, that was mind-blowing. If you didn't read it, you can find a link in the description where you must read it, because there's plenty of nuggets of wisdom that you can use on a daily basis. There, I captured what I felt was super interesting. The fact that there were stories for delivering a specific concept, there were practical insights to apply, there was a summary at the beginning and at the end of every chapter. It was visual with small diagrams here and there, but at the end there was a big quote that summarized the book. It was fantastic. So then I started to look into the techniques, what I do that I feel is extremely powerful for being productive. So I started to think how to structure tasks, how to set goals, how to avoid procrastination, and so on and so forth. As you can see here, I want to talk also about the second brain, because it was really a game changer for me. And then I started to take notes from different books, from things that I'm reading, from other parts. The explanation board contains a lot of ideas and things that I'm reading that I feel is important to remember, but in this case I don't have to because I have a second brain.
Hey Google, play lo-fi song on Spotify.
All right, here's a Spotify playlist.
And then at the end of the day, I have this wrap-up, a sort of retrospective, where I go and I look into the highlights of the day. It could be one, it could be multiple of them. Maybe something personal happened and I want to highlight that. It was amazing feeling when I've done something. Small accomplishments helps you to boost your self-esteem, and this is extremely important at the end of the day. I have also an area for lowlights. And lowlights, are things that might not work as expected. As I said before, I have a couple of goals during the day. So if I have too many and I don't accomplish them, I always had as a lowlight that in order to remind myself that in reality, I should commit for less. Because I know that if I commit for less, I have more time, I can take a filler task and I can do anyway some more work. So it's not a bad idea doing that. If I have any note for tomorrow, maybe I need to remember something, I will write in this specific session. And time to time, I also write down what I've learned. That is a great accomplishment. And this is a tiny part that if you do every day, at the end of a month, at the end of a year, you will discover that you have learned so much and you broaden up your perspective. Write, for me, became a self-healing approach because it forces me to rationalize how I feel. I hope by now that you understood the power of the second brain. And maybe you're curious to start yourself with the second brain. I got you covered. I created a starter kit that is perfect for you and what you need to achieve. In the description below, you can find a very minimal and simple starting template for Notion that you can use in order to kick off your daily routine. And all the things that I describe in this video will be available in this template. It's completely free. You click the link, you install inside your Notion account, and boom, you have it. But before you start, you need to know 5 key steps that you need to remember when you embark in this journey. First of all, choose a tool that is frictionless. And what I mean by that is very simple. You need to find a tool that is always with you. It can be a physical journal. It could be an application that you install on your tablet, your smartphone, and your computer. But in general, you need to find something that is always with you, because at any point of the day, in any situation that you are, you will be able to use it for capturing what you have in your mind. Your second brain has to work for you and not the other way around. You can read all the books that are available about the second brain, all the articles that are out there, but remember that those are just guidelines. You need to find something that will enable you to express yourself in the best way possible. Don't fool yourself thinking that the second brain would be something that you define once and then you don't touch anymore. It's an iterative process. Every day that you use the second brain, you will learn some improvements that you can apply in order to make the second brain working for you. It's absolutely fine that you screw up a couple of times, maybe more, and it's important that you realize what works and what doesn't. Trying to think holistically if the approach that you're taking is exactly what you need in order to express the true self. Bear in mind that what you have seen so far is a constant iteration that I made in the last 7 months. It's important to stress out these things because it didn't came out of the blue. There was a lot of iteration, a lot of changes that I made. At the beginning I had a very complex template for my daily routine, but in reality I discovered that I didn't need it. I need way less field and it's more minimal, and that is exactly what it works for me right now. I'm pretty sure in the future I'm going to change when and if my work will change or my passion will change. And it's important to realize that because the only true things in life is that we need to adapt to changes. Another important thing that I want to stress out is that you don't have to overthink. It won't be perfect at the first attempt, probably not even the first month and not even the first 3 months, maybe never. But don't give up. It's important that you constantly do that. Start to write down wherever it is in your mind, especially with the morning pages. Start to apply these techniques every single day. You need to try out techniques, you need to try out what works for you, what doesn't, and maybe one day you will discover that there is a new technique that you can add in your second brain that is absolutely important for your daily routine. And last but not least, probably the most important tip that I can give you. Be consistent, because consistency is the most important skill that you need to leverage in order to embrace such system. You are going to embed something that is completely new inside your daily routine. And the only way to do that is showing up every single day and maybe creating a reminder in your calendar in order to carve out time during the day for your morning pages, maybe for your goals every morning, and even for your highlight and lowlights. Trust me that when you do that, like I did at the beginning, after a few months we became normal. I deleted my reminder in my calendar because for me now it's a necessity doing these things. It's not anymore something that I need to embed in my day-to-day, something that I'm doing every single day. So if you're pumped up with this technique, I have more for you. Here you can find a playlist of productivity tips that I gathered in the last year. You can find suggestions on how to optimize your iOS devices or how iPad enables me to be more minimal and also to focus more on what I'm doing. There are many insights that I collected for you, so give it a try. I want to leave you with a very important thought. The second brain is not a destination, it's a journey. Remember that the second brain is unique as you are. Therefore, try to learn how others are doing, but don't obsess on copying exactly the same things. Therefore, you need to let it evolve with you, grow with you, and become part of your intellectual journey. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and continue exploring.